Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, and others. I am the professor.
I am the entertainment freak.
And I am lost.
Let's hope you're not lost, because that show was just all over the place.
I was lost because of Lost.
That's basically it, yeah.
Who knew that getting that guy to end the Star Wars saga would end so poorly? It's almost like we've had an example.
There's actually a meme I saw where there was a tombstone and it was the new Disney Star Wars trilogy, and all around them were like taking selfies and whatnot. Were all the extended universe, like the games and whatnot.
Yeah, that's about right.
Revan just goes up with his cell phone like, bitches!
That's definitely on par.
So, what are we talking about today?
Well, I saw the Sonic movie the other week.
I still need to see it.
As do I. So, how was it?
I really liked it. I liked it a lot. Which is surprising, because I thought the movie was going to be bad.
Yeah, you were banking on it being bad.
Yeah, it's almost like we've had years and years of experience with video game movies.
And just Sonic alone.
Yeah. Sonic's track record is... Yeah, that's something.
I'll take your word for it.
You'll see what we mean if you ever have to play Big the Cat in Sonic Adventure.
I doubt I'm going to have to play Sonic Adventure.
That's an idea for the channel, for the game channel.
Make Brendan play Sonic games?
Well, Sonic Adventure at least. At least the Big the Cat levels.
Or make me play games that I've never played.
That's kind of fun.
Make Brendan play Sonic games?
We'll get to it when we get to it. Let's continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some people might know this, but I'm actually a big Sonic fan.
Really? Never would have guessed.
Neither would I.
Okay, here's the question. Are you guys being sarcastic, or...?
If you have to ask.
With me, I'm actually kind of genuinely surprised. I mean, I know you like certain Sonic aspects, but I just never actually thought you was like an actual overall Sonic fan.
Yeah, I grew up with Sonic.
Huh.
He grew up with Sonic, Legend of Zelda, and Super Mario Brothers. I'd be surprised if he wasn't looking forward to any of that.
Anyway.
It was like, I had a friend who was a really big Sonic fan. He introduced me to the character. I had my parents take me to GameStop, and I picked up a Sonic Mega Collection. So I started with the classics, and, I've been a fan ever since. There are certain things that are bad.
Sonic 06?
Sonic's track record is...
Hell, Sonic.
It's like he goes through some series of, really good highs and some really bad lows.
Hell.
Sonic Unleashed?
Hell, I'd say 2017 is, the greatest example of Sonic's career ever. Because on one hand, you got Sonic Mania. That's possibly the best Sonic game ever made. And then on the other hand, you got Sonic Forces. Sonic Forces sucks.
Sad but true.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's like, I tend to get all the new Sonic games that come out, probably not immediately, because I'm always hesitant.
Makes sense. And best way to almost describe Sonic Forces for you, buddy, is almost think of it like Sonic's version of Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
That's not saying much for me. I actually like Xenoverse 2.
No, I'm talking about storyline-wise.
Oh.
No, even that, it's nothing like that.
Really?
It's absolutely nothing like that.
I have the whole character creation, and you have to go on missions, and all that other bullcrap.
No, that's still not Xenoverse. Because Xenoverse is more like the time stream thing, and that's not really a thing in Sonic Forces. They pretend it is by having a version of classic Sonic there, but he's meaningless. And they don't do anything with it.
That line could be said so much for Sonic.
The best way to describe Sonic Forces is World War Sonic.
I'll take your word for it.
For some reason, the only character who takes it seriously is Knuckles.
Why does everyone hate on Knuckles? I like Knuckles.
Nobody hates on Knuckles. I like Knuckles.
Knuckles
Unlike Sonic, you don't chuckle.
So I'm guessing you know the way, my brother.
But yeah, it's like, due to this track record and the track record of video game movies in general, where
The best ones were probably Tomb Raider and Mortal Kombat.
Tomb Raider, Mortal Kombat, and Detective Pikachu.
Keep forgetting that's a video game movie.
And half of Warcraft.
I forgot Warcraft was a thing.
Warcraft was a thing?
Yeah. We saw it in theaters.
Oh yeah, weren't we pissed about it having 29%?
Yeah. Because it's actually not that bad. Like, half of the movie's really good. The other half is,
Humans.
just boring and generic. It's like... Yeah, I went into this movie cautious. I was like, okay, they changed the design. That's a step in the right direction. It's like, in fact, you guys probably remember, like, was it the first podcast we did when we talked about the Sonic trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, 'cause, yeah, that design was awful, and I was kind of looking forward to it for all the wrong reasons.
Basically, your video game version of Venom.
Yes.
I thought it was... I probably am the only person who didn't think the original design was that bad.
It was disgusting and awful and horrible, and it reminded me of cats.
I didn't mind it too much.
That
but
sounds more like a
honestly,
personal problem, Tyler.
No, most people say that.
Again, that's more of a personal problem.
That's not more of a personal problem. That's just facts.
It's a fact I don't agree with.
You don't have to agree with it, but it's a fact.
That doesn't... Whatever.
Yeah, they changed the design, and I'm like, oh, cool, he looks more like the games. Doesn't mean the movie's going to be good.
And then...
Yeah, and then I watched the movie. And it's like, well, it's not the greatest movie ever made. In fact, it follows that whole plot idea of comes to our world, teams up with a human, gotta take it out. But of the movies that do that plotline, I'd argue that this is the best one.
I was told by Jeremy or in other videos that of the movie that he has already been in our world.
Yeah, in the movie, he's been in our world for about 10 years or so. So it's like, he's not a fish out of water. He knows what's up.
Except
It's like-
how to play darts, apparently.
No, he doesn't have to play darts. He's just a hyperactive teenager. Which makes sense for Sonic.
He is 15 after all.
God damn it. Does that mean that Cyclops is going to give him the birds and the bees talk?
No, I would hope not.
Or in this case, the edgy and the hedgies?
If we end up getting to Shadow, we might get to talk about that.
Is Tristan getting Vietnam flashbacks?
Kind of just...
You're getting flashbacks to Shadow the Hedgehog?
Well, not just Shadow the Hedgehog, but just DeviantArt fanfictions.net fanfictions on my blog.
That's the part of the Sonic fanbase I just don't bother with.
Here's my question. Why do you even look that shit up?
I don't. You can just go to DeviantArt and you'll find some atrocity against God.
That tends to be...
Again, why do you go looking for it?
I don't.
It's like, that's just front page shit.
Not when I've gone to DeviantArt. I get pictures of normal stuff, like unicorns and landscapes and some weird thing where a guy had a robotic arm and was crushing someone's heart.
Anyway, matter of fact, there's a little popular game out there where you basically type in your name and then you add the hedgehog at the end of it.
Yeah, you'll find something.
Yeah. Good portion of those are always an upfront to God.
Sonic fanbase is weird.
Yes, it is.
I'm probably just lucky because I never find that shit. And I don't go looking for it.
We don't have to go looking for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, somebody's like, oh, I couldn't find tentacle hentai. Bullshit.
With me, I'm pretty sure I would need to go looking for that stuff.
Typing it into Google does not count as looking for it.
I don't go looking for it. That's the thing.
We don't go looking for it.
Then how do you keep finding it?
It finds us.
Well, clearly it has more of a connection to you guys, because I never encounter it.
No, you encounter it, you just don't like admitting it.
I do not come across Sonic and Shadow fan fictions. Or anything like that.
That's because you don't search the word. You just don't search Sonic.
Yeah, I don't.
Whereas I'm a Sonic fan, so of course I'm typing in Sonic every once in a while just to see what's up. And then that shit finds me. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Dorkly did a couple videos about that kind of thing, though.
What did?
Dorkly.
What's that?
Let's just get back on topic.
You've seen Sonic for Hire, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's Dorkly.
No, that's actually Machinima.
That's Dorkly.
No, the Sonic for Hire, that was Machinima.
Yeah, Dorkly was through Machinima.
Really?
Yeah, Machinima doesn't exist anymore.
Back on topic, fellas.
Like, Machinima was more of an MCN.
Okay.
When it comes to the movie, the reason that it worked was because the movie didn't bullshit you. It didn't do the Smurfs where it's like, oh, here's just Sonic interacting with all this human stuff. No, the movie knows what you want to see. It's like, you want to see Sonic, you want to see Robotnik. You want to see them go head to head, and that's what the movie gives you.
And you also want to see Sonic in a bag that smells like an old ham sandwich.
Yeah, another thing that a lot of these movies do is, like, they make the human characters
Bland and uninteresting.
It's like, I wouldn't call James Marsden's character the most interesting person ever. He was likable enough.
Probably more likable than Cyclops.
Yeah, he is more likable than Cyclops.
That's not saying much.
It's like, he actually kind of gets into the action a bit. He tries to help out. Like that, and he just tends to generally be a good, decent human being. It's like, and you actually believe the relationship that he has with Sonic.
Question.
What?
Is there an ex-girlfriend that he's trying to get back together with?
No, he has a wife.
Okay, that's a relief. Because normally...
He has a wife, and they have no marital problems.
Because normally in these types of movies, there's an ex-girlfriend that someone's trying to get back together with.
Yeah, again...
A la Alvin and the Chipmunks.
It's like, there's a very small plot thread with him of he wants to mean something more, because he's in he's a small town cop.
So he wants to go the Disney princess route.
No, he wants to go to the big city and, like, actually, like, help make a difference in people's lives.
So he wants to be where the big time cops are. He wants to be there busting bad guys and robbers.
He learns a lesson along the way. Because, of course he does. But even then, that's a very small chunk of the movie. It's like, the movie truly gets going and amazing. I'm not going to say right off the bat, even though I do love, like, they give you a little history about Sonic and where he is. Or where he's from and whatnot, and what he's doing here.
Do we only see Sonic?
I'm not going to say anything on that.
Alright, that gave me all the information that I need to know.
It's like, once Robotnik enters the scene, the movie becomes amazing.
I assume so. It's Jim Carrey.
Yeah, because Jim Carrey's great in the role.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing the Eggman and Sonic fights because for some reason, just from trailers alone, it gives me that Caddyshack feeling when Bill Murray's trying to hunt the gopher.
It kind of is like that, except it's a lot more like, I'm gonna get this fucking hedgehog, I'm gonna dissect him, I'm gonna learn all his secrets.
You see, I do not know, I have not seen Caddyshack, but what you're describing, you know what I instantly think of?
Yeah. Dick
Dastardly and Muttley trying to catch that fucking pigeon.
Muttley, snickering hound.
Dick Dastardly and his dastardly flying machines. And they've got to stop the pigeon. Or in this case, Robotnik's got to stop the hedgehog.
Yeah, he wants to get that hedgehog and become the greatest scientific mind of all time.
Why did I get a flashback to Batman Forever just then?
I don't know.
You're thinking of the Riddler?
Yes.
He works better here than he did in Batman Forever.
Yeah, I'd assume so, because most of the villains in Batman Forever were the fucking Joker.
Yeah, you weren't wrong.
Yeah, no. Tommy Lee Jones was a hypocrite in that movie.
Yes, he was.
Okay, so I'll be Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, no,
You'll be Jim Carrey.
I know the story.
Yeah. Can you sanction our buffoonery?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Alright, that's enough of Sonic. Movie's good. We need to see it.
Yes, we do.
Bottom line.
And
Yep.
then we could talk spoilers.
And
'Cause there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
And I also want to talk about the bullcrap from the so-called fans of Birds of Prey story trying to sabotage the movie.
Which has not worked at all.
Of course not. This crap never does.
Okay, so since we're done with Sonic, let's just get on to the main topic of this video, I guess. So, the real topic of the podcast is what? Geek culture?
Geek culture, the problems with it, why it's awful and disgusting, and I hate it.
It used to be fun, and now it's just a cesspool.
Well, go ahead, I'm not
Scum
stopping you.
and villain.
Yeah, if you didn't say it, I was going to.
It's a fiery cesspool of crime and villainy.
Mos Eisley Spaceport. You'll never find a more simmering cesspool of scum and villainy.
Nice. Anyway, I'll let you lead this one off.
Where should we even start?
Slow?
How about we start with the Martin Scorsese comment?
Ooh.
So, for those people who don't know,
Hi.
back in, I think, it was either October or November, somebody was interviewing Martin Scorsese about his upcoming film, The Irishman.
Okay.
He was like, they were asking Scorsese questions, like they asked him about how he felt about modern film, and he just said that, he basically compared most, and it wasn't even just comic book movies, it was most modern blockbusters in general. He compared them to theme park rides. And he didn't do it insultingly either. He even said that they are well made. But that he feels like there is a place for the theme park movies, and there is a place for the movies that he's making. You shouldn't, he had to go to Netflix because theaters would not want to play something like The Irishman.
Which is sad.
And then fucking comic book movie fans, geeks all across the country lost their minds. They fucking acted like Martin Scorsese was the devil.
He is not evil Jesus.
They just decided to make disgusting comments about him and his movies.
Which I'm pretty sure they didn't even seen.
Oh, I'll get to I haven't seen the movie, but it's not a comic book movie or shit later.
Please do.
Thoughts? Just on that situation where does Martin Scorsese's comments have any validity to them, do you think?
Painfully so.
What?
Because at this point, movies like that, the whole geek culture movies, blockbusters he was talking about at this point, whether it be comic book or not, or just something big, bombastic, and it's always actually in your face without anything to actually adjust. It's nothing but fast food of movies at this point. There is nothing really actually good about them. There is something good about them, but there's nothing healthy you actually take away from it. It's just there just to fill you and just maybe provide some kind of service. But other than that, do you actually truly get anything out of it anymore? Maybe this sounds elitist, but thoughts?
No, I agree with Martin Scorsese, actually. No, even I love Godzilla, I will admit, it's a theme park ride. There's nothing wrong with theme park rides. Why would people get pissed about that comparison? Why would people get so vitriolically pissed about somebody saying that? I like a good roller coaster now and then. There's value in it. Again, he even said it's like they are admittedly well made.
It's not hard to do it today with today's movie technology. But I think it's probably... I honestly don't know. What about you, Guardian? What do you got to say about that?
I ironically am not a big fan of roller coasters, and yet most of the movies that I do watch will probably fall into that category.
Alright.
I watch whatever the hell I want to watch. If I watch something from Marvel, fine. If I want to switch things up and switch to the Fast and Furious franchise, no one's going to stop me.
Precisely.
If someone hands me a slice of a movie that it is just a small sample of what the premise overall is, like if it seems exquisite or looks interesting, I'm going to watch it. People who get upset about that just really need to shut their mouths.
What they need to do is grow up.
We both know they're not going to do that, so that's why I said shut their mouths.
They're not going to do that either.
Not unless someone staples their mouth shut, Saw style.
No, they even won't do that because it's over the internet. It's loud bitching over Twitter, Tumblr, whatever the fuck.
That's why I ignore Twitter.
Unfortunately, companies don't. That's where everybody thinks that everybody's voice is. Even though that's such a small minority.
It's more or less on forums and whatnot.
Forums, social media.
Because we'll talk about that aspect in a little bit.
Video sites where everyone just keeps making videos about what the hell ever they want.
Like us?
Yeah. This is an example for one.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're just one of the people out there that's actually basically calling out on this bullshit.
Yeah, and maybe like 5 people are gonna watch it.
Either way.
Oh well.
A great example of the toxicity that I've, especially in recent years, have noticed. When Game of Thrones ended.
Oh boy.
Still have not watched Game of Thrones. All I know is that there was a Starbucks cup in one of the shots.
Game of Thrones at this point? What's even the whole point?
Game of Thrones is great.
Peter Dinklage?
Up until a certain point, which I'll say about season 7 or so, Game of Thrones is great. And it's like most people agree with that. Some people are a bit too whiny and fucking bitchy about it.
I know a few people like that.
Game of Thrones ends. Nobody likes it. Okay, fine. You didn't like the ending. Okay. So do you want to know what you should be doing?
Appreciating what was good.
Appreciating what was good. Going about your merry day being like, it's not a
Move
good
on
ending.
to another show.
Move on to something like The Witcher or something.
Or go back to an old show you
wanna
like.
know guess what they did?
They bitched.
They bitched. They moaned. They made tons of videos screaming about it, talking about how this offends them. The creators offended them.
Oh,
And that the creators should be fired. They should be hung up by their toes. They should die because they made something that I didn't like.
People, this is not medieval times. They're not going to do that shit. And more importantly, they're not going to care at all.
There's a few specific examples of these people, and I will even name Geeks and Gamers.
Angry Joe.
And Angry Joe's a different level of stupid.
Oh, I know exactly
Doug
that
Walker?
kind of people because I'm friends with people who are like that, who are like, just like, completely obsessed with Game of Thrones. I can't get into it. It kind of just bores me, and I just have a much better time just reading and watching Lord of the Rings. Granted, I know they're two separate entities, but...
I actually think Game of Thrones is better than Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Yeah, it's way better. Because Game of Thrones has a more fully developed, real setting.
Because it's a show.
No, I'm not even talking about just the... I'm talking about the books.
Does that also include the Silmarillion and the...
Yes, because J.R.R. Tolkien is a historian. George R.R. Martin is a storyteller. Then I just like the storytelling more of Game of Thrones.
That's fine. But hey, at least we're still not. At least we're still. Like, it's just men that Lord Pink's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just didn't really know what to add to that. Anyway, continue on. But yeah, as for Game of Thrones fans,
Yeah, we're specifically talking about the people around, the people who, claim fans, because we haven't even talked about Star Wars yet.
I was about to ask you about that. Which was more obnoxious, Star Wars fans or the Game of Thrones?
Star Wars.
He's not going to say anything is more obnoxious than Star Wars
Steven
fans.
Universe.
I don't know either. I ignored both of them. Or at the very least, I don't interact with any of them. Because I don't watch Steven Universe. And I'm not a Star Wars fan.
We'll get the Steven Universe down the line. That's right, you Gem Tards. I'm coming for you.
Gem Tars?
Gem Tards.
Oh. Calm down there, Sideshow Bob.
I'm sorry. I really hate Steven Universe and the fan base.
We know.
Should we save them for last? Because I have a lot of... I know about a lot of that bullshit.
We might be able to make another video of that of our own.
That fan base has kept me far away from ever watching the show.
The show should have been like the first clue not to watch the show.
I remember one episode of Steven Universe where fries were trying to take over the world or some shit.
That's not even close to what happened, but okay.
I know what he's talking about, but yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid and made its way to TV.
Go watch Avatar instead.
Dad, that's what you should be doing.
Shouldn't you say something within the same genre?
No, it's just a better show.
Yeah, but it's a completely different genre. Just because you like one of them doesn't mean you're going to like the other.
Okay.
Anyway,
Star Wars fans?
Star Wars fans.
The vitriolic bullshit.
The thing that you have talked about at least twice in previous podcasts.
No, we've never really talked. We haven't talked about it that much in podcasts.
Outside of Star Wars.
Outside of the Star Wars specific ones, we have not. And even then, I didn't go in depth.
No, but you talk about them all the time off camera.
Disgusting. This is what the fan base of Star Wars is.
Racist, obnoxious. They gave a poor little boy schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so should we start with the Phantom Menace and the prequel hate in general?
Yes, actually.
So, first, let's get. What do we think about the prequels, Tristan?
They're not as bad.
They're bad, but they're not the worst thing ever.
Look, that storyline, what he was going for, Lucas knows what he was doing, but he probably had a better time having his friends or someone else write for him.
Yeah.
Like,
George Lucas isn't very bright.
of course not.
So how about that reaction to the Phantom Menace? How many people did they bully?
Let's see, they made death threats and racist comments to the guy who played Jar Jar Binks.
Yep.
They attacked what, 9 to 12-year-old boy because it was his first time acting.
It was not his first time acting.
Well,
Jake Lloyd is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I was getting to that.
Yeah, they essentially ruined Jake Lloyd's entire life.
His peers at school, the nerds on the internet, even when the internet was still relatively fresh enough. And then years later, he attacks his mother with a knife.
Yep.
Have you seen that mugshot of that poor kid?
Yeah.
It looks like he joined the Aryan Brotherhood. It was that grizzled. He looked like Edward Norton out of American History X.
This kid's life was ruined because he was in a movie people didn't like. Specifically, he was in a movie that geeks didn't like.
And he was also in a movie that a bunch of kids would have loved to have been in, but they got jealous because he was in it. Kids suck. Geeks suck.
How about that sequel trilogy?
What sequel trilogy?
No, we're talking about the fan base, because no matter what you think about the movies themselves, that fan base... Ugh.
The Star Wars fan base was bad before the rise of geek culture, and it just got even worse.
Yeah, once geek culture became the norm, thanks to Marvel and all that.
Actually, more or less, yes, but thanks to it being marketable. Because right now, geek culture is the new grunge, it's the new punk, you can say it's even the new goth and new gangster. As soon as
it's in.
Yeah. As soon as it becomes fad and trending, it's going to just just completely saturate it all around by people who never even gave two shits to begin with, and then just still have it try to conform to its own matrix.
And don't get me started on how it has essentially ruined storytelling for the most part.
Oh, you mean how everything needs to be nice and safe and inclusive?
No, that's a different part of it. I'm talking about like how. Do you want why do you think Rise of Skywalker was so awful?
Damage control?
Exactly. Because everybody was so whiny and bitchy and wanted to send so many death threats to all the makers, the creators, the actors who were in The Last Jedi, that they decided, okay, we have to appease these assholes. Completely ruin the story.
Wanting? No. They did, and we know what they did. But yeah, that's basically it. That's not basically it. It is it.
That sequel trilogy was doomed from the start anyway.
We know that, but it didn't need to actually,
No, it didn't need to be.
But we didn't actually need.
It already was, though. 3 different directors, and they didn't even meet up to overlap ideas.
Yeah, that's a problem in and of itself, but you can still build upon the previous guy's ideas, which is what the original script for the movie was doing.
And they even have, just go out and attack, attack that poor Asian girl. She didn't do anything.
Yeah, they drove Kelly Marie Tran off of Instagram, and social media in general, I think.
Yep.
Ruin Johnson.
People just need, if they're doing a trilogy, people just need to wait until the trilogy is done before they start bitching.
You know it's never going to happen.
Yeah, and they're never going to change. What's your point?
Just saying. What they should be doing is completely different to what they would be doing.
Either way, they're not going to do it. One way or another, they're not.
Precisely. Can we also talk about how basically this kind of culture's gotten so big that even people who have nothing to do with it still want them to change it for their own sake?
Yeah.
Alright, because we all know there's no actual true religion in Star Wars, right?
Correct.
How come we can't see, there was an actual imam from the Middle East that actually wanted the new movies to actually have a Muslim Jedi? When Muslims aren't even a thing in Star Wars? How the hell would that even work?
You are made of stupid.
Here you go, Brendan. Here's one that you can't talk about. How about all the shit Reset Era's been trying to do to Atlas games, specifically Persona?
Oh yeah, they censored the gay couple.
There was a gay couple?
Yeah, there was a gay couple that was hitting on Ryuji in a red light district.
Red light district.
They censored it because it was too aggressive.
No, it's like these fucking No, not only... here's what Reset Era does to... they call the Persona series transphobic.
For what?
Homophobic. They make up a bunch of bitchy complaints, and they threaten to dox the game's creator. Continuously.
And this is why...
And they don't even play the games.
This is one of my biggest problems with geek culture as a whole now. Because there are people who just entered it and just want to basically bitch about it. For God's sake, this is what Gamergate was founded on. This shit right here. Sad enough that we actually had to have a Gamergate like that.
And then, of course, it's like you get things like Gamergate that are founded on good ideals and principles, and then you get the jackasses who join them. You know, the extreme opposite side.
Pretty much.
The ones who completely ruin it, give it a terrible name, and then nobody takes it seriously, and it just becomes more vitriolic hatred.
And yet the other side is you see sweet, innocent angels that the media will always completely back.
Despite the fact that they're just as, if not worse.
Oh no, much worse. It was actually proven that they were much worse. Because I just want to run a little logic test between you. All right, say you're a maniac. Say you actually want to kill someone. Do you actually want to warn them ahead of time that you're going to do it?
No.
EF, would you actually want to warn them ahead of time?
No.
No.
Right. So, how's that the opposition of Gamergate actually wants to actually, basically threaten people with, actually saying bomb threats, saying they're going to do it, and then people actually, believe that, that was Gamergate's thing, but yet it was completely proven completely opposite. I mean, maybe it's just the serial killer thinking, but if I want to take out someone, I will want them to know ahead of time, so they can prepare for that.
It's like someone on the radio explaining what their purge plan is.
Pretty much. But yeah, it goes through even with all the sock puppets that was proven.
Let me tell you, though, why Reset Era claims Persona is transphobic.
This should be good.
You know the character Naoto?
Yeah.
So, you remember what Naoto's whole thing was, right?
Yeah. She was a girl who had a great mind. She was the 5th generation in a family of detectives, but no one ever took her seriously because she was a girl.
Yeah, therefore she pretends to be a boy that way people might take her more seriously.
How the hell is that transphobic? That's
her whole purpose, her whole arc in the game is learning to be comfortable with the fact that she's a woman.
How the hell is that transphobic? That's just a staple of storytelling.
Because it doesn't goes with their ideals.
Fuck their ideals. I will outright say that. Fuck them and their feelings.
Yeah. Also to the people who say they're like transphobic and homophobic, Kanji is bi-curious.
No, and that's exactly why it's still homophobic, because he's not full-on gay.
Even if he was, that whole community actually looks down on bisexuals.
Yeah, they'll complain about how he's not gay, and then if he had turned out to be gay, they would have attacked him even more so.
More or less, yeah. Because he's not the right kind of gay.
Yeah. His shadow was fucking gay.
Oh, but the Shadow's a bad guy, therefore homophobe.
So a homosexual is evil, and that makes him homophobic.
Yeah, and that makes the story homophobic.
Even though it's a small part of the story.
Yep.
Yeah, that affects absolutely nothing in the long run.
No, it just gives you another boss fight. Pretty difficult boss fight in the first game, actually. It was much easier in Golden.
Wow.
Yeah, because originally, the 2 buff dudes that were by his sides, they didn't have any distinct weaknesses. But in Golden, the one on the right, I think, was weak to fire, and the one on the left was weak to ice. You have no idea how many times I was playing the original game and I got furious every time those buff dudes kept healing Kanji.
And these are the people that are basically deciding what goes on in these circles.
Yeah.
So does anyone want to go to the tropical paradise Suspicious just to flip those assholes off?
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
What's next?
Ooh.
Let's go more in depth on the opposite side of that. Because, oh my god, do I hate them too.
Go on.
The thing that finally just broke my, geek culture is disgusting sucks was, there's a dude, I don't remember his name, but he decided to make a big rant about how Joker didn't win the Oscar, and the Oscar went to a movie from South Korea.
Police.
He did this whole rant saying that a movie that's not from America should not win Best Picture. And he even says I would have been fine if 1917 won Best Picture. 1917 is from the UK.
Alright, you racist.
Yeah, no, and then he goes on this whole thing. It's raise your goddamn hand if you've seen Parasite. I don't even know what the fuck Parasite is. What's more important to American culture than a movie about how the rich look down on the poor and the mentally depressed? Do you want to know what Parasite's about?
The exact thing?
Parasite's about a rich family who looks down upon a poor family. That's the basic gist of the idea.
Movie Bob, is that you? It sounds exactly like
It's not Movie Bob. It's some other nerd.
That dude is no one's number one guy.
The most xenophobic comments
Of course, yeah.
ever.
Can you give a description of what he looks like?
He's just some fucking neckbeard.
Of course he is.
Has anyone
He
reported
looks like
him?
a fucking redneck. No, he got his. He took his own video down because of all the hate it was getting, and then he realized that was the only video people were watching, so he put it back up.
Any attention is good attention.
It's
Not if it's
complaining that
stupid.
Joker lost Best Picture. Who the fuck cares? I wasn't even betting on Parasite winning. I was happy when it did, especially because Bong Joon-ho didn't get up on a pedestal in any of the awards he won. He didn't get up there on a pedestal and make this big political speech. He made this super humbling speech talking about he's so happy that he was able to be recognized for his accomplishments. That he was like, I'm gonna celebrate, I'm gonna go drink right after this is over. He won the first award, and then he won the second award. He was like, I thought I could take a break. Thank you guys. It's no, he even said Martin Scorsese was up for a lot of those same awards. And then him and his daughter were in the audience, and he thanked Martin Scorsese, and there was a standing ovation. Martin Scorsese and his daughter both said that was better than them winning the award. Wow. But nah, we can't let some other movie from some other country win Best Picture. This is America.
Okay, I'm definitely starting to see how the main things wrong with geek culture. It's just the West itself. It's the West.
It's selfishness.
It's the West, yeah.
It's America.
No, the West.
Western culture.
The US, the UK, parts of France, Germany. Basically anything with a heavy Caucasian
The basic gist is both sides suck and I hate them.
I like that. I like it.
So white people are scum?
No,
That's not
everybody. I see a lot of this from everyone. It's this isn't about white people.
So humanity is scum then?
Yes.
Specifically geeks.
Especially geeks at this point.
That's why I don't identify as a geek.
That's another thing. The people the reason are like this is because they have so little personality they can't actually have anything to latch on. So they have to latch on to called geek culture like a remora.
It's like religion and politics.
Yeah, actually. Whereas,
It's they have nothing interesting about themselves other than what political party they identify with.
Or what they believe in, or what media they consume.
I do not latch myself onto the idea that I'm an Evangelion fan. That is not my personality.
No, your personality is that you're a Godzilla fan.
No, that's not my personality either. It's those are just facets of me. There's a whole person underneath that.
Who hates Elfenlied.
Yes, somebody who hates Elfin Lied.
Yeah, that's a facet.
That's like the exact opposite of me.
No, dude, you actually do have a personality. You just have a lot of stuff that you like to focus and think about on that you actually identify with. That you just need to actually bring more of yourself out.
I don't know how to bring myself out. That's why I have a chameleon circuit in my brain.
That's not usually how it works, but I get you. But anyway, ooh, I would like to talk on the transmogrifying aspect of geek culture.
Go on.
All right, we all appreciate because we all know that Fox was recently bought out by Marvel. Bought out by Disney, right?
Yeah.
For the longest time, because of that, they weren't actually able to make any new characters for the comic books on the Disney publishing out for Marvel.
Okay.
Because of that, and they were trying to appease people and try to make things more identifying with people, they do a whole bunch of retcon or a whole bunch of adding a bunch of random bull crap there because they cannot make new characters. That's why Iceman was forced out of the closet. This is why they managed actually, I don't know, managed to have that stupid thing where the Hulk became the Ghost Rider and the host of Venom all at the same time. It was stupid.
Sounds way too broken.
It was.
And contradictory. Venom's weak to fire.
Yeah, but you have.
And sonic waves.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You have Red Hulk on a Ghost Rider bike with the Venom symbiote encompassing him.
Red Hulk emanates fire. He couldn't bond to Venom.
It's really stupid. It's really stupid. And when they actually do try to be inclusive, basically, how do I say this? It has an Apple effect. The Apple effect is they do something and people think it's the best thing ever. When there are other companies who do it better and first and better, and it just gets completely ignored and saying they're stealing the thunder away from that. Because, full fun fact, Windows was the original one to actually develop the actual handheld tablet device. Nobody gave a damn about it. Then Apple put one out, and everyone shit in their pants. Then Google tried one, and they said they were biting off of Apple.
So what you're saying is everyone knows Windows bit off Apple, and even though they tripled a profit on a PC.
Boo, 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 boo.
Everyone with the power to create use an Apple, and people with jobs use PC.
I bet they made that beat on an Apple.
Nope. Fruity Loops. PC.
You could never, ever get a virus on an Apple.
But you can still afford a doctor if you bought a PC.
I want to be mad about that, but that actually was pretty fun. That actually was fun just then. But yeah, because this is a little bit of history of comic books. And this might get a little long, so please bear with me. DC was the first one to actually have the first openly gay superhero character. Marvel didn't do anything like that until they basically rewrote the character of the Destroyer from the 1940s.
God damn it, the Destroyer's involved in Marvel? God damn it.
From there, they also had the first openly canon lesbian character with Batwoman. With Kid Kane, yes.
Yeah.
They still haven't. It still took them a while just to actually even get anything like that in Marvel. But when they found out Marvel did that, people were crapping their pants. Hell, DC's been more progressive than Marvel for the past 30 years, even before everything got popular. And remember that whole thing everyone was getting all in the tits about the whole first gay marriage in comic books? I'm pretty sure you heard some news about that.
No.
Anyway, it was supposed to be North Star marrying his boyfriend or whatever. When in actuality, Archie Comics beat him to it first.
Oh, kind of like how people were crediting Deadpool as the first rated-R superhero movie, even though there were many before that.
Or Black Panther being the first superhero movie starring a black character.
Yeah.
Even though Blade exists.
Yeah, in both cases.
And Spawn existed. Existed.
Yeah, but Spawn sucks. So.
But still, first black superhero to have a first movie.
Steel
Also
sucks.
Yeah. Meteor Man, Blanket Man. The list goes
Mystery
on.
Men.
That's right, Mystery Men. Although technically that came out after Blade, Steel, and Spawn, but still counts. But yeah, nobody gives a damn about it until Apple Marvel shits it out.
Uh-huh.
Or hell, you want to go talk about the... let's complain about things that don't make sense to complain about. Star Wars versus Star Trek.
That's not even a comparison.
Exactly, they're two completely different things. They're going for two completely different aesthetics, two different ideas. Star Trek is a science fiction show. Star Wars is a fantasy thing. They are not even comparable.
Pretty much. Not to mention the fact the whole belief system.
The most recent one is like, I'm finally actually watching through Outlaw Star. So, do you want to know how much Firefly took from Outlaw Star?
All of it?
Like, nothing.
Really?
The only similarity is with the introduction of Melfina and the introduction of River Tam. That's all. Outlaw Star is a completely different thing.
Huh.
Like, there's a lot of mysticism and magic and stuff in Outlaw Star.
Alright, but what about from Cowboy Bebop, though?
No, even then, not too much. It more or less, Firefly's just another space western.
Fair point.
It has the same space western tropes that something like Cowboy Bebop or Outlaw Star would have.
I can get behind that. But we really watch Firefly and actually really sit down for it. Does it actually deserve all the praise and...
All the praise? Probably not. I'm about to rewatch Firefly, but remembering it, Firefly's still pretty good.
It was alright.
Never watched it.
It was a pretty decent show. I mean, it doesn't garner all the praise that it just gets. Like it's the best thing since sliced bread, but it's not bad. And I know the whole story, but River Tam still just annoys me. Just the Tams in general annoy me. Anyway.
There's no point in trying to fight between the two, because they're two completely different things.
Not to mention Star Trek got a lot more crossovers in the comics.
That is true.
It crossed over with Doctor Who and the X-Men.
Yep. And Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Spock and
The only one that makes sense out of all of those is Planet of the Apes.
What are you talking about? It makes sense to Doctor Who.
I mean, okay, it makes a bit of sense to Doctor Who.
No, if you actually read it, it makes way too much sense. Especially when the Borg are involved.
Yeah, the Borg and the Cybermen.
Also, the Green Lantern crossover with Star Trek.
That's true, too.
That was actually pretty freaking awesome. And no, it's not like the actual classic Star Trek. It's Abrams' Star Trek.
It was classic Star Trek with the X-Men, though. Because Spock...
Twice, actually.
Yeah, Spock, Vulcan, neck pinched.
Yeah.
He does that in the Abrams movies.
No. Vulcan neck pinched Wolverine?
No, but he does the Vulcan neck pinch.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying that he neck pinched Wolverine.
He did it on Wolverine.
Yeah, but you were saying that that's the reason why it's classic Star Trek.
No.
Because you had that in the same
No, he's
sentence.
saying it's classic Star Trek. Oh, yeah. The wording, I get it. But the thing is, he was just saying that it was classic Star Trek because Spock was there. As well as on the...
Spock's there in Abrams' Trek.
He meant as in the actual...
It's classic Star Trek because you can tell by how the characters are drawn. That's why.
By the characters themselves, yeah. There was also a TNG X-Men crossover as well. But I just can't find it right now.
They're probably not good.
I don't know. But anyway... Yeah, that's kind of my take on transmogrifying culture, because they always try to change something or try to fit someone else's narrative of people who don't even read or play or actually take any of this, but they just want to have it because they want it.
So, like most people who try to make movies.
Outlaw Star is a ripoff of Cowboy Bebop. Outlaw Star came out first.
What Cowboy Bebop came out first?
Outlaw Star, the manga beat it by about 3 years, and the anime itself beat it by about 3 months.
Weird. But anyway,
The Trigun outdates both of them. Manga started slightly before.
Anyway, transmogrification culture, changing already established lore, just fit the new narrative, aka a black female doctor before William Hartnell in Doctor who apparently was already traveling off of Gallifrey.
No.
Because apparently in the episode, Jodie Whittaker's doctor actually finds the TARDIS buried underneath a South Peak mountain. And then finds the black female doctor.
You'd think she'd remember that.
Yeah, you'd think so.
It's almost like that completely contradicts canon.
You mean the actual original plot point of Doctor Who? Yes. Painfully so.
That's why I don't count Jodie Whittaker's Doctor as canon.
Please, there's like, a fan theory online.
Hell, in the episode Silence, like, you go back to Child Doctor and it's White Boy.
Like I said. Hell, there's an actual working fan theory out there saying that everything after the Sixth Doctor is actually all a concussion dream. Since that's how Sixth Doctor managed to regenerate into 7. He winged his head on the console.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Be like Paramount.
Paramount?
Yeah, when it comes to listening to the narrative around things. It's like, yeah, sure, there were a lot of vitriolic people when it came to that first Sonic design. But there were a lot of other people who were very level-headed about it. Who even said that this design does not work because Sonic is still a relevant character. Kids still know what Sonic looks like. It just wouldn't work for them. And so those are the people they listened to. And we got a better product out of it.
Yeah, but I'm so glad they didn't do the Doctor Who movie because we could have had Michael Jackson or Bill Cosby as a doctor.
Don't listen to those people who continuously tell someone to take Kelly Marie Tran out of the movie.
But, yep.
Also, don't listen to the Raylo shippers, because that's bad.
I bet these are the same people that still idolize the
She
Joker.
makes out with her abuser.
These are also probably the same people that also still idolize the Joker-Harley relationship.
From Suicide Squad?
In general.
Most people I saw idolizing that had only seen Suicide Squad.
Most people I've seen that
where they decided to take out all of the terribleness of that relationship.
Before Suicide Squad, I kept seeing that from people who only saw maybe like a couple episodes of the cartoon or just a bunch of fan art online. Because they think it makes them quirky.
Which makes the idea of what they were going for with Birds of Prey a little worse, because it's like, oh, why would she leave the Joker? Because you guys weren't awful to each other in Suicide Squad, based on the movie we saw.
Anyway, just going on like that, changing characters around, changing established canon, just for the sake of multiversity.
How about you add to the canon, or make your own thing?
Because they either can't, or they're just trying to just be regressive and try to be a good ally.
It's like, you see, the idea of a black or female Spider-Man works, because that is part of what that whole idea of that character is. Anybody can be Spider-Man.
And there's a whole Spider family because of it now.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite work with Batman.
It works for the idea of a Bat family, or at least Batman Inc. Other than that, for the Batman mantle itself, no.
Or Thor. Doesn't work for Thor at all.
Actually...
Thor is a Greek god. Or a Norse god.
Or how about the fact that...
It says on the hammer, whoever is worthy...
of the power of Thor can get his powers. That doesn't mean they are Thor.
They wield the power.
They wield his power. That doesn't make them Thor. Thor will still be Thor.
Yeah, Jane Foster was literally calling herself Thor.
Was Captain America Thor?
No.
Exactly. It works for Green Lantern, because they're basically just on souped-up space cops.
Because that's the whole idea of Green Lantern.
Then how does that work with Falcon becoming Captain America?
It doesn't.
He became the new Captain
No,
America.
because that is actually somebody is passing on their mantle. So that can work.
Just not in the way it did in the comic books, though.
It looks like it's working for what they're doing with the Falcon Winter Soldier show.
Well, we won't know.
That's
We
Where
won't know that
he
until
is
later.
working to earn the title.
Well, we won't know that until later.
I'm just wondering how he's going to actually hold the shield while he's in mid-flight.
We probably won't.
Have it on his back.
Maybe. Anyway, what was I saying about this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's all this stuff that works. Hell, even works for Dr. Fate, because Fate's simply the spirit of Naboo.
There are characters where the ideal works, and there are characters where it does not.
Kind of like making X-Men
It doesn't work with... It does not work with Iron Man, for instance.
That's why Pepper Potts and her suit was called Rescue, and...
It certainly doesn't work for James Bond.
Ooh, how about...
That is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard, is for a female James Bond. Because a big integral part of that character is that he is a misogynistic asshole. It does not work for a woman.
Now, to be fair...
Like, you can have Idris Elba as James Bond, because of course you can.
Now, to be fair, when Ian Fleming first originally wrote the character for his books, James Bond was actually written as a woman, but then changed down the line.
Yeah, people like to say that Ian Fleming was a sexist asshole. The reality is the character was because of an event, and you even see the event that turns him into this.
That's because people can't differentiate between fiction and reality. Star Wars fans!
So are we still in geek culture? Because I feel like we just sidelined a little bit.
This is still geek culture. There's still a problem with it. We're just talking about like, different facets of why it's such a toxic cesspool.
Alright, continue.
Grant, I know it's a lot to talk about, man, but honestly, it's a cesspool for a reason. This is basically Chernobyl of the marketable fads.
I'm not even going to talk about the anime fandom.
We don't talk about them. We don't talk about the otaku, we don't talk about the neets, and we sure as hell don't talk about the weebs.
No, we can talk about the otaku. We can't talk... the neets are the problem.
But remember, otaku and neet, back in your own culture, is not too far from each other. Because remember, a little fun fact when you guys go to Japan, or if anyone listening to this goes to Japan, try not to actually call yourself an otaku out in public, because that is basically social suicide.
Yeah, that is not good for you at all.
Especially since like the likes of the otaku killer from how many years ago now? 16 years ago?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, remember Takuma was going around killing kids and apparently actually ate the limbs of a couple of them. Yeah, he actually cut off their hands and feet and was actually eating them. And he was calling himself Dracula.
That's not even otaku shit at that point.
Yeah, but it was kind of...
To be fair, otaku basically just means nerd in Japan.
Yeah. But it's also kind of grown to be the fact like these people are kind of like reprehensible.
Most of the people in Japan are kind of like closet that anyway.
That is also true.
Japan's very different than ours. We're more open about it.
Yeah, but still, you just can't call yourself that around there. If you
that's why I would never do so.
Neither would I.
I will use the English term for it. Because then they don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just gonna basically just just let my own actions speak for himself.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah.
Oh, hey, he's a decent human being. We like him.
We can just talk about needs and the weebs. Because that is where the problem lies.
The ones who are so in people's face about it that they completely make people want to distance themselves.
Or not even want to be in the anime to begin with, because honestly, that's where most of my problems came from.
Yeah, then you met somebody level-headed like me who can show you stuff. It was like, no, this is good.
Oh, it was even before then, but still. It's still basically an ingrained aversion to it, but I will still enjoy certain series.
Pretty sure all of us had an influence on you with anime.
More or less.
Because Evangelion is good.
You just don't shut up about it.
I do shut up about it.
Not really.
No, you don't hear me talk about it that often.
No, whenever you bring it up.
Guys, needs.
I know what a neat is. We don't need to talk about them.
Whenever you bring it up, you're pretty much... You want me to watch it, even though I show no interest in it.
I know you know what a neat is. I'm just saying. I was saying, let's not get into that conversation. Let's talk about this. Let's stay on target. Damn it, that's another Star Wars quote using this already.
So where are we now?
Do we want to talk about the needs and the weebs?
No.
Dog?
No.
Alright. Damn it. From there. What was the last thing we started talking about before that?
Star Wars?
No. It wasn't dealing with Star Wars. It was dealing with... Oh yeah, we were talking about the toxic fan bases.
Yeah, and you left off on Star Wars.
Yeah, but we don't even need to really get more into that, because we kind of talk about that, like, as like in a blanketed sense. I'm pretty sure you know a few toxic fan bases.
I know fan bases. I don't know which ones of them are toxic or not.
Oh, they make themselves known.
DC!
They can be, but even then, it's just more like a mild rash.
It's not mild. You're in it, so you don't get it.
No,
I'm not in it. I get it. It's not mild. Tell somebody to go kill themselves because they don't like Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad.
Go on.
Oh, Zack Snyder is some amazing visionary genius. You just don't see it because you're a pleb. No. I don't see it because he's so in your face that it just doesn't work. It's like, have you ever watched a movie that's not based on superheroes?
At this point, most people probably have not.
Zack Snyder's not some visionary genius when it comes to storytelling. It's like we got people like Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese.
Didn't you say in the car that he is a visionary genius?
Who?
Zack Snyder.
No, I said that he's great at visuals and visual storytelling. The problem is how in your face he is with it, which just kind of ruins the whole thing.
Still hate Joss Whedon more.
I hate Joss Whedon more as a person. When it comes to Joss Whedon's talent, he's a lot. I find him better when it comes to character writing.
I know that the people I've met in the Power Ranger fan base, I haven't met any ones that are, like, asinine yet.
Nah, that's the one thing I'll give Power Rangers is I haven't come across too many disgusting fans in that one. I'm sure they're there.
Yeah, and they are. We haven't found them.
The biggest issue I've had with the Power Ranger fan base is an occasional flame war when someone disagrees about which season is best. And I should know, I was a part of that flame war because the person said that Super Mega Force was one of the best seasons. But we eventually came to an understanding, we explained our feelings, we did not agree with one another, but we still respected each other's opinions.
And the Godzilla fan base is pretty chill. Our biggest problems is like arguing whether we like Shin Godzilla or not.
I'm pretty sure Lena's told me about a few armies that she's met that were a pain in the neck.
We don't talk about the K-pop.
K-pop's awful. Out of respect for her, I'm not going to go too deep into it.
Yeah, because she needs to be here for that.
Agreed.
Most of what I see from K-pop fan base is terrible.
The main issue I have with the Power Rangers fan base now is how they're blindly loving Beast Morphers without actually thinking about it.
I'm still not seeing that.
You will. You will. 3 episodes in, and one of the major plot points of an episode is making an eco-friendly bicycle.
So how about Rick and Morty? How the fan base completely ruined that show for everybody.
What's worse, Tristan, Rick and Morty or Steven Universe?
Steven Universe.
There's two sides of the same coin. This one.
No, I wouldn't call them two sides of the same coin. I'd call, like, here's Steven Universe, here's Rick and Morty.
I don't know, man. I have seen some really bad Rick and Morty fans.
Oh, I've seen some really awful ones, too.
It's like, oh.
Like Dan Harmon?
It's like, but even they're like Steven Universe. I swear that awful fanboys, that awful fan base is the vocal majority. With Rick and Morty, that's more like the vocal minority.
Ooh, because the reason I say that is because I was part of both of them. I've seen both.
And hell, I'd argue with Rick and Morty when you separate it from that fan base, Rick and Morty is still good.
Not really.
Up until season 3. Where it's basically just going against Rick's character completely in certain aspects. You really think the Asian feminist stand-in that's voiced by Susan Sarandon actually be able to get the last word on Rick without any kind of punishment against her? Because he just accepts that.
Or maybe Rick's just kind of grown as a person?
It's Rick. He doesn't grow as a person.
No, you still need characters to grow as people. That tends to be the point of shows, is for them to grow. It's Rick and Morty isn't serialized enough for him to stay stagnant.
But the thing is, though, even throughout the entirety of the rest of the season, outside the episode, Rick has still not changed from anything else from past then. It was just that one instance. And I know that for a fact because he's...
No, most people actually say that he has been growing more... He did grow more empathetic throughout this, as the series goes on.
If he is, it's hard to pinpoint.
Look, I haven't watched past season 1. I thought season 1 was great.
Season 1 is great.
I've heard season 2 is great.
Season 2 is amazing.
People are mixed about season 3, I will give it that, but I've heard a lot of really good things about what they've been doing with season 4.
With me, the way it goes like this, it's almost kind of like Torchwood. Series 1 and 2 are great. Series 3 is spotty. Series 4, that's kind of uncharted territory about how people really truly think about it. But I'm not that sure about season 4 right now myself, but with Miracle Day, that was a steaming pile of shit. It really sucked. But I digress. The reason why I still say how I think Rick and Morty and Steven Universe are two sides of the same coin is because basically you got the one...
Rick and Morty fans are more just annoying. Like they're
it's
not
Reddit versus Tumblr.
They're not outright hateful. No, I wouldn't even. It's 4chan versus Tumblr.
Not with the way Rick and Morty is, at least in from my experience. It's definitely a Reddit versus Tumblr thing. And speaking from there...
Yeah, and Tumblr's up here, Reddit's right here.
More or less. The only thing I will say that Rick and Morty does have going for it, it's definitely not art-driven, and it is actually a story plot to it. So I will always have my respect for it.
No, Rick and Morty actually tries.
Yeah.
A lot of Rick and Morty is improv.
And going from there, Steven Universe.
The king of awful fan bases.
That's
the worst fucking bullshit I've ever seen.
You said king of worst fan bases? Don't let them hear that because they'll start bitching and moaning saying how that's sexist or misogynistic.
Find the queen of all terrible fan bases.
Now that's not being inclusive to the non-binaries.
Fuck them.
There we go. And you know the sad thing is that whole spiel just then. That is exactly what something actually Steven Universe fan base actually would say about that.
Yeah, it is.
It started off with some kind of promise. And then it just went just like that. Because I remember back in the day when the show first started, how the Jim's supposed to be non-binary, so you're supposed to have like aspects of both male and female, until all Jims just suddenly became female.
Yeah.
I'm staying out of this one.
Lucky you. If I could, I would. But seeing as how I was in it ever since maybe the end of season 1 and just going from there, ugh.
You mean when you've watched the show?
Yep.
Back when you liked the show.
Back when the show was actually entertaining, but then when you actually start...
I've noticed this is a recurring thing. The fan bases we tend to hate most are the ones that we used to be part of.
I don't have a lot of fan bases that I hate.
Like, for you, it's Steven Universe. For me, it's Star Wars.
For me, it's nothing yet.
Trust me, I used to be part of the Star Wars fan base as well.
And then it betrayed you.
Yeah.
It shot first, one could say.
McClunky! Damn it, not again! Anyway, yeah, pretty much. Because the whole thing was supposed to be like an art-driven show, giving the creators, like, some more control over it. But too bad it sucks in art as well, and nothing's consistent.
Yeah, I've never liked the way Steven Universe looks. Like, it looked pretty sometimes, but most of the time it just looked average. And it uses that goddamn character head
CalArts?
template
Yeah.
that I hate because everybody uses it.
Yeah, CalArts. Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, Star Wars Force of Evil, Gumball, She-Ra, and now...
She-Ra doesn't use it, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right, my bad.
You're thinking Thundercats.
Yeah, think of Thundercats War. That's another thing about transmogrifying. Ruining already established good properties and then changing them into this bullshit. But I digress, going back to the Steven Universe. How basically there are no actual real voice actors on the show.
No, there aren't.
What?
Oh yeah, the show doesn't actually really use any actual legit established voice actors. They just basically use whoever's in, or basically just like get someone from the actual animation department or producing department and just have them voice characters.
It's like the two worlds of TV shows. Why hire voice actors? Just use the in-studio people.
And I don't even know how many times you get even some of their actual guest stars to come on. Like seriously, they got Joan Jett to be in an episode.
Because it has a fan base and people like it.
But who the hell outside of the old generation know who the hell Joan Jett is?
Who the hell is Joan Jett?
Nobody.
Joan Jett and the Heartbreakers?
Who the hell is that?
I mean, Joan Jett and the Rock... let's see. I Love Rock and Roll. Put Never Diamond in the Jukebox Baby. But I Love Rock and Roll.
Nope.
It's like one of the better party rock songs. Well,
Never heard of it.
Ask your mom next time you see her.
She probably doesn't know.
She probably knows exactly what we would be talking about.
She's more of a country girl anyway.
Joan Jett was one of the biggest, hardest rockers in the 80s. It's kind of hard to not hear Joan Jett.
I love rock and roll.
But never diamond in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll.
Oh, that song.
Diamond, dance with me.
That's the only one I know.
That's like one of her biggest songs. So yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
Anyway, go back to talking shit about Steven Universe while I get a nap in.
Yeah, so how about the actual fan base and why it's absolutely disgusting and awful and is everything wrong with geek culture on both sides? Both the haters and the fucking fans are some of the worst goddamn people.
Oh, you mean the ones who are basically mentally ill, thinking that they're this and that, and then they basically just try to, demonize anything that's not part of them, and even if it's part of them, if it's not the right version of them, it has to die. Even if, when it comes down to fan art, when even if it's just outright trash, and you try to talk to a 20-year-old girl into killing herself, which she almost does, but she does get resuscitated in the hospital.
This has happened a few times.
Or was it one YouTube channel where they actually talk like different like aspects of like TV shows and stuff? I can't remember what it was. The Round Table, the Steven Universe fan from the Round Table. He outright vitriolically, verbally attacked a dying child who got to see the last couple of Steven Universe episodes from the Make-A-Wish Foundation as his final wish. Yeah, this is stuff that's actually happened. The kid dying of cancer. Well, I'm pretty sure actually did pass away not too long ago. And this jackass actually basically kind of gets some vitriol about it because he didn't talk about anything that actually happened in the episodes online with anyone.
Yeah, because he's a kid dying of cancer.
Also, probably the fact he probably wasn't even actually able to contractually allowed to.
Exactly.
Because this is right before the last last few Steven bombs. Oh, let's also talk about that schedule.
Dude, that's more of a Cartoon Network thing.
Either way, it was garbage, but yeah.
Cartoon Network's always had that problem.
But going off of that, you have the people who are basically mad about this or that, or basically just trying to shove their own gender politics into something.
How about one of the most hated episodes? the episode about how you shouldn't kill the people who disagree with you.
Wish they all jumped down their throats about it. Oh! What about the time when they actually ran one of the actual show producers off of Twitter?
Yeah. Somebody who called them out for their bullshit. And that was immediately silenced and canceled.
And never heard back from him for a good long while either. And you know the thing is, they're actually probably most likely really proud about all this.
Yeah. These disgusting fucktards are always fucking prideful and happy when they do this shit.
And the fact they're trying to, put some kind of, like I said, some kind of sexual or gender politics into it, it's basically essentially a 14-year-old.
I'm gonna dox you because you drew a picture I didn't like.
And this is why we have that troll movement of basically drawing every single character in Steven Universe as Hitler's version of the Aryan Superman. There's a long line of fan art up there of characters like Garnet and Rose Quartz with blonde hair and blue eyes and white skin. And it's amazing. Just to take the piss out of these people.
I'd say that's great, but I hate that too.
I know, but honestly, when you make things like that, you try you actually put yourself out there and get so mad that someone can disagree with you about this one thing or another.
It's not dox worthy, but nothing is dox worthy.
Not in the slightest. But here we are. And they have a new series out now.
I so don't care.
Neither do I at this point.
I was initially interested in watching Steven Universe because I had been hearing good things about it. Nathan was talking up really highly about it. And then the fans.
The fans that praise these characters, even though if you actually look at them,
the show teaches you love and tolerance, and they are the most intolerant, disgusting human beings.
Also, these characters I was mentioning, the ones that they just praise the most, are the kind of people that should not actually be worthy of praise. Pearl's whole thing is that her own existence is meaningless unless she can actually die for the greater cause. And that basically everyone around the relationship means nothing, and because she thinks she had a thing with the actual main character.
I wrote a bad guy like that. His whole purpose for being is getting in the way of the good guys. That's what he believes his purpose to be.
And the one character that's absolutely basically just just idolize, and that's saying they're the greatest thing ever. Storyline wise, she is nothing but a spoiled brat. Yeah. Very horribly written. Fun little thing. It acted like there could be a little murder mystery there. Like there was an assassination attempt. But nope. They actually went with the twist that everyone saw coming. You didn't even need to be an actual big-time fan in order to actually, call that one.
We're talking about the fans.
I know, I'm just saying, they just praise this show as one of the greatest written things they've ever watched, though.
It's not.
Far from it. Because I know I keep going to the cartoon, but there is nothing really actually good about it. At all.
It's average at best.
You're still being generous about it. Because it's not even, there's no script for it. It's all art-based. The art is not even good. You know who did better artwork than Steven Universe does?
Who?
Rob Liefeld in the 90s.
No.
Yes,
no, I completely disagree. At least I find... you can find still images of Steven Universe that look appealing. I can't say the same for Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, but too bad it doesn't matter anything in the next still.
Yeah, but again, those still images still look really good. All Rob Liefeld did was still images, and they were all bad.
I know, that's kind of what I was going with.
again, I can find stealth images from Steven Universe that I like.
Like I said, that was kind of my joke, but yeah. That was kind of my joke. But after this, I just think I need a smoking a beer. Who's with me? Smoking a beer?
I don't smoke.
Neither do I, but I think I'm going to start now.
Huh?
Smoking a beer afterwards?
Nah, I don't smoke.
Neither do I. Pretty sure I'm going to start taking it up now.
Don't go smoking those cancer sticks. Drink to your heart's content, though.
Yeah, that's bad for your liver, you know?
In moderation.
You just said to his heart's content.
Yeah, heart's content in moderation.
You can only have one or the other.
No, you can have both.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, because your heart's content will be way over moderation.
Anyway, all that failed joke just an aside.
I'm pretty sure that there's more that you guys have to talk about, too.
At this point, I don't think so.
No, there's way more.
But
this podcast will be like a day long.
yeah, because at this point, do we even think we even have the energy to get through it?
No.
Yeah, this
Just the mention of Steven Universe drains me.
Imagine how I feel since
Yeah, I've never even been in. I've always just been the outsider looking in on that, and I've noticed nothing but disgusting hatred for everything.
Between you and I, when it comes to Steven Universe, Tyler, we are the In the Air Tonight music video. You are the man. You are the man. Watching the man drown himself in the sink.
Yeah.
Me being the man to sink. Because that's what the whole music video was about.
Drowning in a sink?
A man watching a man drown himself in a sink.
Sounds weird.
It was a weird video. It was still good. But yeah. Because here's how big a fan I was. I actually bought one of the mobile games.
They had mobile games?
Yep.
There's mobile games for everything.
Steven Universe, Attack the Light.
Llamas with Hats has mobile games, so.
But either way, going from there, I want to apologize to you guys. This seems very disjointed, or it's just not overall good. So I will take responsibility on myself about that, but I just need to just get my feelings out there. Granted, I could have done a bit better with it, but still, it's out there. Take it where you leave it. I'm just giving my own 2 cents about the whole podcast right here for this, on behalf of me, the professor.
I've learned that I should start taking extensive notes on things.
Amen to that, brother. So
I've learned that they come across a lot of shit that I just tend to either ignore or just not come across.
it's not like we're actually actively hunting for it.
That's because you're not very proactive in as much as we are.
Yeah. And
like,
that's
you're
not a benefit.
way more... That's not a benefit.
Really? Because I don't have as much to bitch about.
No, that limits your pool of things, though.
But yeah.
Like, I can think of a total of, like, 5 things you're into. Me and him, it's like we can each think of, like, at least 40 things each.
So coming from me, the professor,
The entertainment free.
we do want to apologize for the quality of this podcast on our behalves.
Yes.
Maybe down the line we'll fix this ourselves when we get a bit more of a grasp on things. We're not trying to put anyone down, but we did want to identify the problems with this medium.
Yeah, I still enjoy being a fan of things. I love being a Fate fan, even if I don't like the spin-offs at all. I love talking with people about the different aspects and whatnot in Stay Night and Zero. I love watching video essays on it. I love all the stuff. Okay, people say that Evangelion back in its heyday was essentially like the Rick and Morty of the time when it comes to the fan base. But it's like, since then they've like mellowed out. significantly. And now it's a fairly good fan base full of people who just like to talk about, okay, what does this mean? What are the themes here? It's like actual discussion now that it's not like this big mainstream thing. At least not here in America. It's still very mainstream in Japan.
Yeah, but the thing is, the more niche it is, like the better it is.
Again, like Godzilla. I'm kind of glad that Godzilla wasn't this mega hit. Because then it's like we can disagree about it in this little niche group of ours, but we can still respect each other.
Agreed.
It's like, I don't agree with any of the people who say Shin Godzilla sucks, but I can respect their opinion because they're not assholes about it.
So with that being said, geek culture as a whole, I do believe still needs to die and just basically become its own.
It needs to stop being at the forefront.
It needs to be niche again. It just needs to be that small little thing that people could enjoy without basically becoming the encapsulation of all that is.
And with that said, I just completed the gaming channel logo.
I love it.
Yeah, while you guys were ranting, I decided I have nothing else to add to this, so I might as well make use of this time.
Hey, that's fine. But honestly, and for those people, we weren't trying to put anyone down, but please make sure you actually have some kind of substance to yourself. They just have to basically rely on the medium that other people have made in order to make yourself your own entity, or make yourself an entity.
Yeah, maybe don't make the entire basis of your personality the fact that you like Joker.
Or the fact that you just enamored with Harry Potter.
We didn't even talk about them.
Later. Anyway, I am the professor. Shit, I can't speak now.
I'm the entertainment freak.
And I have more work to do.
So, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Nerds on Display, and we are signing off.